So Anand, it's been a couple years since we last met for coffee, and we're here at the ATX Studio Lounge during the week of South by Southwest. Why don't you give us an update on the company, where you are, and how you're helping VARs mobilize their business?
Yes, thank you very much. And I'm also very thankful for Alex for connecting the two of us. It's been a few years, and Alex has been a great advisor. Now, since that time, at that time, we were kind of trying to figure out how do we bring the scale to the reseller commerce. And just a background on, like, we focus on this. We have a marketing software for this two-tier distribution for like a lot of these resellers, value-added resellers or agents who sell a lot of products for other manufacturers or other brands.
Right.
So what we focused on, and there are 50 million of these in the world, so they are like big number. But what we discovered is out of these 50 million, 60% are less than 10 employees. So they are really micro and small business. And they're very, very good business people. They know what they are doing, but they are not as efficient on the marketing side. So how to leverage mobile or how to leverage social media to connect with the customers in the way that customers are buying today. So they are dealing with a lot of information. Like, so if I'm a technology reseller and I'm selling Dell, HP, IBM, a lot of these technologies, and especially a lot of these new technologies which are like cloud and SaaS software, which have a different sales model. All of these brands are sending a lot of great content, videos, brochures, and a lot of that. But as a reseller, I struggle with keeping track of all of these content and leveraging that content into my sales process or through my website or social media or mobile. So that's where since our last meeting, we focused on, one is how do we simplify that, the right information, the right moment and the right customer. And so mobile has been a big element of that kind of interaction and simplifying that process. So we focused on first perfecting the mixing process. So it's like and we call that the content DJ. So we created this new role for these resellers, and they have a content DJ now. So content DJ's role is like when I'm working with 12 different brands, and each brand may be sending hundreds of content every month. So as a content DJ, I can discover the right content, mix it up, and enable that through my website or social media or through like my phone, the tablet, when I'm actually face-to-face meeting with my customers. So we focus on the scale since our last meeting, and we are very fortunate working with some of the great companies in the world. They have helped us to discover some of the answers. We don't have all the answers, but I think we have the key answers that we have started to now scale this thing to the next level.
So how do you work with, say, an IBM and their analytics tool? You mentioned Watson. How does it become part of your product offering?
Yeah, so if we look at this problem, at the end of the day, it's really a problem of how do you refine that data. So if you look at the history of like the oil revolution, right? So if you look at the Rockefeller and the Standard Oil Company, while there were a lot of things going on with like people drilling these wells to kind of get more oil, but the key thing was, okay, but that's where Rockefeller was like he was thinking, okay, how do I create like the kerosene, and the light is what people want, right? So the process of converting that crude oil into kerosene and ultimately delivering it as a mechanism to bring more light, right? So if you look at the same thing in in the distribution channel, there are a lot of great content, millions of dollars getting invested in creating those content. But those content are not being effectively leveraged in selling more, right? So because the resellers and brands, everyone wants to sell more with their partners. So the process of extracting the right information from all these different content or all the data and using that at the right moment, with right customer moment, that requires a lot of for that content DJ. I mean, manually you can do, but it takes a lot of time. You want that content DJ to be smart and that smartness comes with a lot of automation. And so this is really a problem of the ecosystem, and as a startup, no company can solve that problem on their own. So we looked at our partner ecosystem, and IBM has been a great partner to us. We have been part of their global entrepreneur program for many years. So we looked at how Watson, the cognitive technology, can help us refine some of that process. Bluemix, some of the services like the next steps, call to actions, some of the services that, so it helps us. One is to innovate much faster because we can test things very, very quickly as we learn from these customers. And secondly, some of the investment that IBM has made into a lot of these things, that is made available to us to really automate that process of if we call like the data is the new oil, the refinement of that data, so that even if you are a small reseller, you have a supercomputer in your hand and all the intelligence to have that conversation with the customer and sell more.